Hi there, I'm Willis Johnston, and this is Luna, and I am so excited to be with you today to share a yoga practice in collaboration with the Influentials Foundation, which is a foundation doing incredible work for those with ALS, their caregivers, and their family. This practice is designed to get you space in your body, to have your mind and your breath really present in the experience as well, so that you can experience spaciousness across all three of those threads, mind, body, and breath, so that you may find a sense of calm and some ease in your circumstances. So please find a comfortable seat. We'll start seated. I'm seated in Virasana on my shins with the block between my heels and the block is underneath my hips. If you need a little bit more spaciousness for your hips and your knees, you can of course come into a regular cross-legged position in easy pose. So find whatever pose feels comfortable in your body today. Ground your hands onto your thighs. And if it's available to you in this moment to close the eyes, if that feels comfortable, please do so. Otherwise, just lower the eyelids and focus on a point out in front of you. Take this time to bring your awareness inward, to focus on your breath. As you focus on your breath, perhaps tone the back of the throat so you start to hear the oceanic quality of your breath, allowing your ears to delight in the sound of your respiration. This ebb and flow and pulse of life force that is moving in and out. And then to set up a real deep diaphragmatic breath, please place one hand on your belly, one hand on the chest. And as you take your next breath in, just imagine that you drop and descend the breath all the way into the hand on the belly, spilling the belly forward into the palm of your hand. And as you exhale, gently draw the navel towards your spine as you move all the air out. Beautiful. Inhale into the belly hand. Not holding tight in your core, letting the belly spill so that your diaphragm descends with spaciousness and gives your lungs the chance to fill with a lot of breath. And when it's time to exhale, just let it come, pulling the navel towards your spine and moving all the breath out. Inhale, belly. And exhale, move it all the way out. Now, on your next inhale, fill the belly hand first, and then bring more awareness to the chest as you breathe into the palm on top of the chest. You can also expand right to left into your side ribs. And as you exhale, start with the navel toward the spine. Soften the chest as your lungs move toward empty. So then it's inhale, belly. Expand into the chest and side ribs, but keep the shoulders and the neck relaxed. And as you exhale, move the breath out, navel towards your spine, softening the chest, this beautiful pulse of life moving through you. So inhale, inspiration, taking in from great nature around us. The exhale, moving the CO2 out, essentially feeding great nature around us. So as you inhale, you're taking in oxygen, getting good space for the lungs to fill in the container of your torso. And as you exhale, you're moving the CO2 back out into great nature. So in a way, this simple act of breathing, this mindful, deep breath is like a deep connection and conversation with all that is, putting yourself in the middle of the greater whole, practicing your connection, your conversation with everything that surrounds you. How we find ourselves as little human beings in this big, big world, participating in perhaps lots of big ways in our daily lives, but also in these real subtle ways of just simply inhaling and exhaling. And take your hands to heart center, palms touching. Set a personal dedication for your practice today. It could be a word or a quality or an energy you'd like to cultivate during this time with yourself. It could be resiliency, a sense of calm, joy, clear vision. Whatever your personal intention is on this day, please set it now. And we will seal that intention with a communal breath. Take a big full breath in through the nose and let it go through the mouth. Nice work. As you're ready, you can let the eyes blink open if they were closed. Stretch your arms up overhead and hook your thumbs up overhead. Your elbows can be soft. Pull your thumbs apart so that you feel the collarbones spread at the top of the torso, which would be like the top frame for your lungs. Move your lungs forward by pulling the arms back as much as you can, and find your seat beneath you and your fingertips reaching far above you. Good, nice long stretch for the torso. Take a big breath in here. And as you exhale, side bend to your left. So left fingertips down, right arm reaches up to the sky. You can keep the arm straight or straight-ish, or you could just let the upper arm rest on the side of the right cheek and the forearm flopping over the head. Breathe into your top ribs as if the lung could move out into that space of the cave of the right rib cage. Just warming up the spine in the 6 directions that the spine moves. Side bend, twist, twist, forward bend, back bend. So inhaling, filling up one more breath here in this side bend. And exhale, mindfully moving the breath out. Nice. Come back to center, big stretch up through your arms. And then exhale, side bend up and over to your right. Fingertips on the floor. Lots of space through your left side body, which is the side that's lengthening. And again, maybe the arm straight, straight-ish, or you just simply rest the arm over the head. So you take some of the effort out of the shoulder and the neck on that left side. Imagining the breath really fills the container of the left side body. Breathing fully, even into the bottom side as well. So just because one side is shorter doesn't mean we can't find some space there. Take one more big breath in and full breath out. Come back to center, stretch both arms up to the sky, keeping your spine long. On an exhale, twist to your left. Long, long spine, spiraling around yourself. If you're up on a block like I am and your hands really aren't landing, especially this backhand to the floor, no big deal, let it float. So you're more focused on the length and vitality of the energy moving along your center than you are about necessarily getting around in a forced way. So force nothing, flow everything. Inhale, the breath flows in, and exhale, the breath flows out. Good. See your left hand, swim it all the way up and over, and then grab opposite shoulders with your left arm on top. You might stay here, or you could eagle wrap your arms with the right arm underneath the left, fingertips landing on the center of your left palm. So whether you're here or grabbing opposite shoulders, we'll inhale, find a gentle seated back bend with your elbows lifting up to the sky, and as you exhale, round the spine, bring your elbows toward the navel. 2 more, inhale to lift, and exhale to lower. Inhale to lift, nice work. Exhale to lower, getting good space across the back body. Inhale, arms reach up, and now we'll twist to the right. Long, long spine, spiral around your center. Left hand might land on that right leg, right hand may or may not touch the floor. If you have to tip backwards to make contact with the floor, don't worry about that backhand. Focus on the breath. Again, central channel, nice long inhale, beautiful full exhale. Inhale, flow everything. Exhale, turn. One more breath here, in and out. See your right hand, swim it all the way up and over. Maybe you grab opposite shoulders with the right arm on top this time, or maybe you fully eagle wrap your arms, the fingertips of the left hand resting in the center of your right palm. Whatever version you're taking, lift the elbows a little bit or a lot of it. And as you exhale, round the spine, elbows draw toward the navel. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift. And exhale to round. Good. Parallel your upper arms to the floor. Release the bind of your arms. Stretch the arms up overhead. And then from here, we'll come forward to set up for a child's pose. So in child's pose, your big toes can be together, your knees can be wide. That will give you a little bit more space in your lower back. Or if you want your thighs together, you may also do that too. I'm gonna take a blanket, and you don't need one, but if you have a blanket or a towel at home, you can always slide the blanket in between the calves and the upper thighs so that the knees, if they're sensitive or experiencing some pain, you can create more space in the joint that way. So you're not smushing the knee so much as creating a bit more space there by virtue of having the blanket in place. Then, take your fingertips to the mat. Send your heart forward and maybe wag your tail side to side just so that you're rooting the hips back. And from this rootedness, this backwards energy through your hips, you can send your heart, your spine long and forward. If you have yoga blocks and you like to use them, you could put a block underneath the low ribs and underneath your forehead, or you can fold all the way over with your chest on the floor. Stretch your arms long and maybe come onto fingertips so you get some space underneath the forearms, underneath the upper arms, so that your upper arm bones can really spiral in their joint. And instead of the armpits moving out to the side, wrap them underneath and in toward the center line of the body. And we'll spin some deep breaths here. As much as the practice of yoga opens up space in our bodies by creating shapes in our physical form, so much space is really gathered from breathing poses from the inside out. So I'll keep on encouraging you to focus on your breath. You can play with that diaphragmatic breath we started practice with. So inhaling, letting the breath spill forward into the belly, expanding up into the chest, the side ribs, the back body, and then easy breaths out. If you're experiencing any stress or overwhelm, something I like to do is to exhale through the mouth audibly a couple times. So you're in a space where you can make good noises, you can make all the noises you want on the exhale. And after a few of those audible exhales, you can go back to sealing the lips and just breathing in and out the nose. Nose breathing is the most beneficial type of breathing. It's the best breathing for our nervous system. It's easier to regulate the breath when it's coming in and out the nostrils. So as you inhale and exhale, perhaps your point of meditation or focus for the next 8 breaths in this pose is at each nostril, tracking the breath as it moves in and as it flows effortlessly out. Last 3 breaths here in this child's pose. Beautifully folded in the ankles, the knees, the hips. And for the final breath cycle, maybe you take another inhale in through the nose, and again, let it fall out the mouth, easy, like a nice sigh. And plant the palms onto your mat. Shift the heart forward so you lift the hips off your blanket. Slide the blanket away, or if for the next pose, which is puppy pose or heart opening pose, you could always put the blanket underneath the knees for joint support. And then from here, you have a couple of options. You can keep the hips right above the knees, so we're not sitting back to the heels, hips stack above the knees, arms reach forward, and you melt your heart toward the floor. Your forehead might land on the mat as you're opening in the space of the armpits, the spine, the ribs. If this is too deep, something I like to do is take a block underneath the center of the chest or underneath the sternum so that the pose is not so deep in the thoracic spine. You could take it on the lowest height, you could even take it on the medium height, and if even the medium height is too intense, you could always play with multiple blocks, right? The goal is to melt the heart toward the floor and to get a good stretch here. So find wherever feels comfortable and stable for you. Hands on blocks would be an option as well. And as you breathe here, you're melting the heart space toward the floor. This heart space in so many traditions is connected to the energy of compassion, of love. Often said that our arms and our hands are extensions of our heart. So as you breathe into this space, you can focus on the energy of love and compassion. Maybe noticing sensation at the center of your chest, or picturing a green jewel or light at the center of the chest. Feeling really held and supported by the intelligence and power of your breath, of your mind, of your heart. If at any moment it feels uncomfortable in the shoulders or the arms, you can always readjust. There's never a rule that says you have to stay held in any shape. You can always adjust to find more comfort and space. And you can always take a break by sitting back onto the heels with your hips and coming into child's pose again. So many options available to you in every moment. And that sense of option, having choice, really is freedom. Move your breath in and out your form. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. Beautiful. From here, walk your hands back a little bit so you have some leverage. Press into your palms, lift your heart, and then come to lie onto your belly. Belly down, we'll take a broken wing pose, which is another great pose to get into the joint of the shoulder. So you'll take your right hand and place it right by the side of your chest, as if your right hand was in like a push-up position. Your left arm will go straight out to the side. You could always cactus the arm as well if that feels better. But you want the arm straight out from the shoulder, not below the shoulder. If anything, it can be a little bit above the shoulder, which might change where the stretch happens in the chest. But you're not going to really get much stretch if the arm is below the line of the shoulder. So straight out or cactus, but the elbow straight out from the shoulder. Bend the right knee, press into your right palm, and start to peel your heart open to the right. The right foot can land outside the left leg. Try to lengthen your tailbone toward the extended leg heel so you're not dropping too much pressure into your lower back. And if you need some support for your head, you can always put a block underneath the head. Every person is going to feel this stretch resonating in a different place. Some might feel it more in the meat of the chest. Some might feel it more in the shoulder. So wherever you feel it, imagine you put your breath at the center of that sensation and allow the exhales to move energy out to the circumference. So you start with the sensation, and as you exhale, you disperse that energy outwards and soften where you can. One more breath. Nice work. Come back to center. Chest rolls down to the floor. And then we'll change sides. So left hand right by the side of your chest. Right arm is long. You'll bend your left knee. Press into that left palm to turn the heart open. And you're getting now into that right side. Again, if you want to block here, to me that helps my neck feel a bit more supported. Totally up to you. Just make sure you're not dropping into the lower back. Try to extend the the tailbone toward the line of the leg that's extended. And then again, this meditation of breathing into the center of sensation. And exhale, imagining that sensation softens as energy radiates outward from the center. Inhaling center. And exhaling out to a circumference. Noticing the breath. Staying with the breath. Last 3. 2. And 1. Slowly make your way onto the belly again. Slide the blocks away if they're there. Press into your hands. Come into a tabletop position. If you want the blanket there underneath your knees, you can keep it there. Otherwise, you can toss the blanket aside. And we'll come into a tabletop with the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees, so we have right angles in the table. If this is too much on the wrist to be in a right angle, always know you can walk the knees back, take the shoulders behind the wrist a little bit, and ease up the pressure on the wrist joint. So you find a place that feels good in your body. We'll inhale to arch the spine into a cow shape. And then exhale, press the mat away with your palms and your feet and your shins and round the back into a cat. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. Inhale, notice how the inhale helps and assists this back bend, this extension of your spine. And then exhale, its contracting nature really helps round the spine and get all the air out. Inhale, arch. And exhale to round. We'll do 3 more cat-cows. Inhale, nice and slow. Finding more space with each round. Exhale, round. Spread the shoulder blades on your back. Inhale to arch. Beautiful. Exhale to round. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And from here, bring your legs together And then see if you can flip the wrists around. So maybe they just turn fingertips to the side and you can rock side to side this way. This might be plenty enough. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, work on dialing the fingers around. Again, maybe it goes just a little bit more. It could be that you can really turn the shoulders externally to flip the heels of the hands to be parallel to the top of your mat. And then you can play with stirring around the wrists. You can come forward and backwards. Really, really important to take care of joint space. Trying to keep space available and open where it's possible. And again, breathing. A big part of deep joint work is really staying connected to that breath so that the nervous system stays calm, so that even when there are sensations that might be a little bit talkative or more than talkative, as long as there's no real acute pain, you can really explore some of these new ranges of motion that you might be getting, or just keeping the space that you have available to you. So we'll take a few more breaths, rocking back and forth. Keep the collarbones spreading wide so your breath fills well. And then just as we're getting into the wrists, we'll get into the feet and the ankles. So your legs are together. You'll tuck your toes behind you. Sit back onto your heels. I'm going to take a block with me so I can show you an adjustment. Sit back onto your heels with your toes tucked. Now, I get it. This might be a lot. And if it's a lot, you have tools. You can put a block underneath your bum and or another block underneath the knees. And this just keeps things a bit lighter, a bit less intense in the feet and the ankles. So whether you have blocks, 1, 2, or none, we'll stay here for 5 breaths. You can keep the hands resting on the thighs, or if you want to interlace your fingers and press your palms up to the sky, you can stretch your body long. I find taking the arms up overhead, even if they're separated, gives you this awareness of what's above you, so it's not all about the lower body, right? You can kind of get up into your heights, so to speak. We'll take 2 more breaths. Last big inhale. Full exhale. Lovely work. Lower the arms down. Remove the blocks if they are there. We're going to come into downward facing dog, and I'm going to ask you to put your hands on blocks if you have them. If blocks bother the wrists, if they're too squishy, the blocks, you may also just put them flat on the floor. But we'll come into downward dog with hands on blocks, which will give us the ability to root back into the legs a little bit more. So you can measure with a plank, heels over the balls of the feet, shoulders over the wrists, and then just simply lift the hips up and back, bend the knees a little bit or a lot of bit, so that you're folding first and foremost from the pelvis, and then your spine is nice and free. Access the balls of the feet. The heels don't have to shove toward the floor. There can be a little bit of a lift of the heels as well as your knees bend forward. And then really press down through your palms as you stretch through your side body all the way up through the outer hips, so that your down dog is mostly held by the power of the legs. Obviously, there's weight in the hands, and there's some activity in the arms and the upper body, but do your best to root back into your lower body so your foundation can hold you. We'll take 5 more breaths in downward dog. Anytime you need a break, please feel free to take the knees down and rest. Easy neck. All right, from here we'll take a low lunge, look forward, and step your right foot between your hands. If you need a little bit of a help, like if your foot lands halfway, just take your right hand to your ankle and scoop that foot forward, all right? Lower your back knee down. Untuck your back toes. You could always blanket your back knee if you need some support in that joint. And something I like to do here is to take a block behind the back thigh so that I can, or in front of the back thigh, so I can really use this forward motion in this back hip to inform the rise up when I take my hands off the ground. So maybe you use the block, maybe you don't. Either way is great, but come from underneath the pose. So the back thigh moves into the block. You reach the arms up, and you're in an Anjaneyasana. So it's a gentle back bend, but instead of bending your back and bending over backwards, try to go up into your breath. So you're really pulling energy from the bottom into the middle, up into the top. So it's not just about going deep into the pose, deep into the hips. It's about spreading the energy of our awareness in all directions, in all pieces of the pose. Good. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then take the hands down, take the blocks away, move the hips back into a half split. So the front knee can straighten a little bit, a tiny bit. You might even move your tail side to side, turn your toes right and left so that you're playing with where the stretch is happening in the hamstrings. Good, one more breath in and out. Bend the right knee, take the blocks underneath your hands again and step it back to your downward facing dog. Settle in your downward dog for 3 breaths. Again, root back into your legs. Bend the knees as much as you need to so you're folding primarily at the pelvis, not getting caught in the upper back. So freedom for breath is always the name of the game here, setting up your foundation so that the torso is really free. Look forward, left foot between your hands. Again, scoop it forward if you need a little bit more support. Lower your back knee down to the mat. Take one block behind or in front of the back thigh, if you'd like that. And then from underneath the pose, move the back thigh into the block, unfold into a low lunge. As much as you're down into your lower body, getting a good stretch into your hips, you're up, up, up into your heights. So your vision is tall, your air elevates you. Good, last 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands down to the floor. Take the hands onto the blocks again and step it back into downward dog. One final downward facing dog. One more breath in and exhale. Nice. Lower your knees down to the mat. You can slide the blocks away. We're going to come to lie onto our backs for just a few finishing poses. We'll take a supine pigeon, which is a great stretch for the outer hips. So cross the right ankle above the left knee and hug the left thigh in towards your chest. Your right hand can thread into the space between your legs, and you can interlace your hands below the left knee or around the left hamstrings. Your right elbow can be like a little space holder to keep that right hip open. And we'll breathe here for 5 slow breaths. And nice work. From here, keep the figure 4 shape. Just lower that left foot to the mat. Hug your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long. Guide your right knee over to the left, and we'll come into a supine twist. Just 5 breaths here to unravel, to unwind. Fill your torso with breath. And exhale, soften into the twist. Great, come back to center, hug your right knee into your chest, extend the right leg long. Take a moment to stretch your arms up overhead, maybe pedal through your feet. Nice, and then bend the right knee, cross the left ankle above the right knee, right thigh towards your chest, left arm can thread the needle, interlace your fingers below the right knee or around the right hamstrings. Use that left elbow as kind of a space holder to keep the left thigh from falling excessively towards your torso, and breathe into the space. You feel the stretch, probably outer hip, the glutes, piriformis. One more breath in and out. Beautiful work. Land the right foot to the floor, keeping the figure 4. Hug the left knee into your chest and extend the right leg long. Take the left leg over to the right in the supine twist. We'll breathe here for 5 slow breaths. It's like an unraveling. So inhale, just gather up that breath. As you exhale, soften. Allow gravity, the descent of the exhale, to bring a deepening into your experience of this twist. Beautiful. Back to center. Give yourself one final hug, hugging your knees into your chest, a nice self-love hug, thanking yourself for taking the time to weave your mind, your body, and your breath together for a sense of presence, a sense of acceptance, a sense of care for yourself, deep care for yourself. And coming into final rest, Shavasana, either feet wide, knees knocking, which can be great to release the lower back. You could extend your legs straight, or you could even bring soles of the feet together, knees wide, into a Supta Baddha Konasana. And you could always take blocks outside of the upper outer legs in case the no block version feels too stressful on the muscles of the inner thigh. You could always block yourself up here. Arms can be in cactus or straight to the side. I'm going to opt for cactus because it brings some awareness to the space of breath. Allowing yourself some time in Shavasana to integrate, to settle, to move from doing to non-doing, to move from effort to grace. And as you're in this Shavasana, feel free to stay as long as you would like to stay. Maybe you have 10 minutes, which is ideal. Maybe you only have a couple. But give yourself time to really rest and to settle. I will be leaving you here in rest. Thank you so much for taking the time for yourself and for sharing your practice with me. From the bottom of my heart, namaste.
Research is for tomorrow, care is for today. The Influentials Foundation. Donate today.